Hi, I'm Janine, the owner and founder of Granny's Conversations, greeting cards for the soul. Welcome to Empathetic Conversations. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about the subject of therapy. Now, therapy is one of those things that in some cultures they say, oh, we just don't do that. Or someone may say, why do I need a therapist when I have God? So there's a lot of apprehension about therapy. So let's ask, what is therapy? Why do we need it? Why are people afraid of it? And why should I be empathetic to someone who does go to therapy? What is it really like? But first, let's remember what empathy is. Empathy is different from compassion. It's when you really feel the emotions the other person is experiencing. You become them. You're sitting in the pit with them. So, when we're empathetic to someone going through therapy, we want to think of things from their perspective, like if we were in their shoes, not just what we would do, but what we would do if we were in their shoes. Now, let's talk about why people are afraid of therapy. Therapy has this stigma that it's just for crazy people or mentally unstable people, but that's not the truth. Think about it. Just like your physical health, you go to a doctor. You don't always go to the doctor when you're sick. You have your yearly physicals when you're in good condition because you want to prevent from getting sick. Well, that's the same with your emotional and mental health. You want to have those check ins with yourself. You want to make sure that you are doing well and are healthy emotionally and mentally. Well, that's where a therapist can help you. It's simply just having a conversation. Now, I know that there is fear, and I can totally understand the fear. My mother taught me growing up that you don't want to go to a therapist because they're going to get in your mind and they're going to twist things around from your childhood. So that's what I thought. I just believed what my mom said, and I went through life never wanting to go to a therapist. But then it got to a point where nothing else was working. I knew I needed to talk to someone, so I decided to force myself to give it a chance. Well, it took me a while because you have to remember that not every therapist is for you. Not every therapist is the same. You have to make sure that person has the right chemistry for you because it's about your healing. It doesn't matter, you don't want to hurt their feelings, none of that matters. It's about your healing, your health. So, however long it takes, just take the time until you find that right doctor. Now, another thing that causes people to stay away is because they just don't want to open up about their personal business. Well, think about it this way. A lot of times it's important for us to kind of step outside of ourselves and look at ourselves from a different perspective as to why we do what we do. And some things we do subconsciously, not even knowing it, and it can trigger some other issues. So that's what a therapist does when they simply just have a conversation with you. They're trained to really know emotional and mental health and what triggers what and how certain behaviors, learned behaviors, may cause certain other things to come out later in life. And it's important because it's all just a big circle and it's important for you to heal. Some people may say, well, if you go to therapy, then you're not trusting God enough. Now, it's important to respect everyone's spiritual belief. But what if God is using therapists to help us heal on earth? God uses people to do things for Him. So it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not trusting God or you're not having enough faith. It's just you taking care of your health just like going to a doctor. You know, some sicknesses you can't just pray away. You need the doctor's help. So that's the same thing. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's okay. Now, let's take some time to talk about what is therapy like? What can I expect? Well, for me, it took me a while to find the right therapist. It's just like trying to find a doctor. You want to make sure that you have the right chemistry. You don't have to be afraid of hurting their feelings. You know, this is about your healing, your well being. So you just go to as many therapists as you can until you find that right fit. It took me a while, but now I love my therapist. He's perfect for me. Now, the environment is usually a pretty relaxed environment. There will probably be a couch, but you don't have to lay down on it. Not every therapist is sitting there taking notes and peering over their glasses at you. My therapist, personally, he's very laid back and chill, and he just lets me talk. And he jumps in every once in a while with his words of wisdom. You know, you may say, well, what's the difference from just talking to my homegirl? Well, it's different because they are professionally trained to deal with our emotional and mental health and to help us figure out why we do what we do. There's some things that we do that happen to us subconsciously. We don't even realize we're doing it. And there may be something that happened in our past that we haven't thought about that may be triggering our behavior now. It's basically like uncovering these different layers of scars so you can find your true self, your true happiness. For me, it's relaxing. It's my time to just de-stress, like a mental spa. When I leave, I feel, like a burden's been lifted off of me. I have a new lease on life. I'm like educated, and that's something that's really special when it's not just having a conversation, but you're being educated about yourself. And that's why I personally love therapy. Now, does that sound scary? No, not at all. So now, as we close out, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the cost. Therapy is expensive. Hey, let's just be honest. But did you know that most companies have an employee assistant program, also known as EAP? And that program typically allows you to have 6 free therapy sessions each year. So if you've been wanting to try therapy, can't afford it, or going through something and you just want to talk to someone, take advantage of those 6 free sessions. That's a lot. There's a lot that can be accomplished in 6 weeks. The beautiful thing about the EAP program is that you don't just have to use it for yourself. You can also use it for a family member, an extended family member. It's a very good program to take advantage of. So, in the words of Granny, baby, stop picking at that scar. To you, it's an ugly reminder, but to me, it's the day you became a survivor. It's time for us to heal. Give therapy a chance. Now, that closes out our episode for this week, but I want to extend the invitation for future episodes. I would love to interview you. Are you going through something? Have you survived something? Is there something that you have to deal with on a daily basis that you can educate someone on that they may not know much about? Is there any opportunities that you've had where you had to be empathetic to someone? Was it a challenge? How were you able to get there? Anything that you want to talk about, I want to talk about it with you in this safe space, Empathetic Conversations. Thanks.